What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the newest episode of the Believe in Oregon podcast, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Zachary, Neel. He's Jonathan Stewart. Jay Stu, what's up, man? How we doing?
Good, man. Good weekend. Oregon had a bye.
A little
The
relaxing
second
weekend.
bye week.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Would be nice to experience 2 bye weeks.
Did you not have? You guys didn't have 2 bye weeks when you were playing, did you? In the NFL, I mean, I know not in college.
Not in college. It would
Did
have
you
been
have 2 in the
nice.
NFL though?
Yeah, you kind of get those natural buys if you play on a Thursday. You don't see, the practice facility until maybe Tuesday. So you
Okay.
have some time in between, so it feels like a bye week.
Okay.
Same goes for it's typically those Thursday night games where you can
Yeah.
squeeze one. But
Okay.
it all comes with, the payment and sacrifice of short turnarounds, right? So you play on
Yeah.
Sunday and then you got to go right back at it.
That
Right
quick
back
Thursday
at it.
turnaround. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. All right. Well, on today's show, we are going to look at Oregon's college football playoff future. The rankings come out this week on Tuesday night for the first time, so it'll be interesting to see where they're at and where they can go from there. We're going to dive into the Iowa game, and then we're going to examine the rest of the remaining schedule overall. After that, we're going to take a look at some of the championship odds for Oregon right now. Some news off the top. If you are a follower of social media, you will notice that my Twitter has been hacked and I have been kicked out of my Twitter. Actually, I can't
How'd
get
you
on
get
right now.
hacked, dog?
I don't know, man. It happens.
Did you
But
click on something bad?
I have no idea. I woke up one day and I got an email that like my email had changed and I could no longer get into it. And I had my wife look at my account and there's people tweeting about I'm buying Mercedes based on my cryptocurrency winnings and all this stuff. It's
Nice.
like I've had so many people text me like, "Did you get hacked?" Or are you like,
Do
"Did
you
you
have
actually buy a
did you do you
Mercedes?"
have the double authentication on your
I didn't. That was my problem. So, PSA, if you're listening right now and you do not have two-factor authentication, whatever that is, go do it because you do not want to experience what I'm experiencing because Twitter's support is the worst of any
terrible?
major company I've ever seen. I've been arguing with, I think, bots and
Yeah.
Grok and whatever their AI is. It's awful. So,
Mm.
also, if you know any way to help me or have any contacts or Twitter or know what I should do, please reach out because I'm kind of at a
Yeah.
dead end. Like
I'm gonna make
no
sure
one's
I
really
don't. I'm gonna make
responding
sure.
anymore.
I'm gonna make sure I don't at you, so that way I don't get flagged for a
It's
potential.
seriously, man. It's terrible. And thankfully it happened during a bye week. Like I've been tweeting from our Duckswire Twitter account and using that to like stay up on news, but man, you don't realize like how important Twitter is for our business and for our
Yeah.
jobs until you don't have it. It's like, oh crap, I can't do anything. This is weird.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. Hopefully we get it cleared out soon before this coming game. That's most important. Other than that, some notable stories. One that emerged last night: Oregon cornerback Julio Florence is entering the transfer portal. Not too surprising. He's a redshirt junior. I don't think played. He played in 2 games this year, it's said, but I don't think he has any major stats. He got hurt last year. He was expected to be the starter coming into this year, but he kind of got passed on the depth chart by those two that true freshman and the redshirt freshman. So,
Yeah.
wish him the absolute best of luck. I think if he can stay healthy, he's a very good player. I think he's got an NFL future. But that was some notable news that came out last night. Again, not a huge surprise, but something worth watching going forward.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. That's about all we can say. Other updates. We talked to Dan Lanning last week. If you've not had a chance yet to go listen or watch that episode, we had a lot of fun with Dan
Really
coming
hate that
on.
I wasn't here for that.
I know. I'm bummed you couldn't join.
But I will say this: get you a friend that will plug you, like Zach plugged me in my golf game.
I got you. I knew
That's
he
all
was
that
just
At the end
forgetting.
of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I knew he was just forgetting when he didn't mention you off top. He's like, "Oh yeah, Jay Stu is on this podcast. Jay Stu is a really good golfer. I got to get him in here."
Yeah, man. Shout out.
Shout out to Dan. So that was really good. Talked about his coaching style, his recruiting in the NIL era, and then of course a little bit of golf at the end. Last week, Dan also mentioned that Dante Moore is good to go. He's playing. He looks good. and that we're getting closer to having Evan Stewart and true freshman safety Trey McNutt back on the field too. So some notable updates for sure.
Yeah, it's good. I heard some stuff creeping around about Evan Stewart wanting to go back to Texas A&M.
Hmm.
I'm glad that was a lie and some weird rabbit hole that I found myself in.
I have
But
not seen that, but I've also not been on Twitter for the past few days, so maybe I
that's where I
missed it.
found it.
Okay.
But quickly out, it didn't. I didn't go down too far. It
Yeah.
basically was like, hey, there's an idea of that happening, but it looks like he's actually going to consider trying to come back this year and try his. Because I mean, in my mind, he comes back, he shows just a glimpse of what he's capable of.
Oh yeah.
Go to the league, brother, because what you're realizing too is
Interesting.
the
Okay.
timetable to me in my mind for these kids. You can risk it in college or you can risk it in the draft.
Hmm.
Like however you want to see it. Because if you're not one of the forefront guys that the national media is talking about, you're gonna have to risk something at some point.
Hmm.
And in my mind, this is such a physical game, and you never know what step you take wrong here and there. If you feel good about your game and you get an opportunity to showcase what you're capable of, I mean, look at Tez Johnson, right?
Hmm.
Tez, everybody counted him out because he was too light or he didn't run a fast enough 40. Hmm. That boy is the talk of Tampa right now.
He's doing well.
So, and he's doing really well. So, all you need is just one person to believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Evan should be able to return this year. I think they're targeting the Minnesota game, so not this week, but next week.
Hmm.
And then he could play the final 3 games of the year, maintain his red shirt for this year if he wants, and then return next year as well.
Yeah.
That's the ideal scenario for Oregon fans. Of course, like you said, if he has a fantastic final 3 games of the year and is like, okay, let's try
But
out
not
this
just the 3
draft.
years, that you talk about playoff games, you talk
Yeah,
about
playoff game.
championship
Yeah,
game, that
yeah.
that can total out to what, 6, 7 games, right?
Yeah, and he's the type of player who could show something like, "Okay, yeah, remember how good I
Yeah.
am?" And if
Yeah.
that's what happens, and I think Oregon fans would be fine with it, because
Yeah.
if he ends up being good enough to be like, "All right, yeah, look at what this guy can do in 6 games,"
Mhm.
it probably means Oregon did pretty well. So I think that's a good result for everyone.
Yeah.
Um, all right, before we get into our Iowa breakdown, there's an important question that's been coming up, over the past week or 2. I think we should talk about it.
Okay.
Basically, can Oregon make the playoff with a 10-2 record? Before the season, we definitely would have said yes. Last year, Clemson was the only 3-loss team to get in. We've got a small sample size with a 12-team playoff, obviously. Like before that, 10-2 record meant you were out of the 14 playoff, but 12 teams kind of opens it up a little bit. So last year, Clemson got in; they were 9-3, but they won the ACC to do it. Before conference title games, there were 3 2-loss teams in the mix. After conference title games, 7 2-loss teams ended up getting into the playoff. 2 of them were automatic qualifiers. It shows that there is a history of 2-loss teams, obviously a small history, getting into the playoffs, but Oregon's schedule and their record so far, is it good enough? That's what we have to kind of talk about. If you look at the wins, there's not really many good ones against good teams. You take away Montana State, an FCS school, they are combined. Their opponents who they've beaten are combined 17-34. The best win is against Northwestern. We all thought that Penn State was going to be like that defining
So
win,
our
but
best win so far is Northwestern?
yeah, who is currently 5-3? Because look,
Hey, if you would have
Oklahoma
told me that
State's
before the season, I would have been like, "Man, if you don't go shut the front door."
exactly. Oklahoma State is 1-8, Northwestern 5-3, Oregon State 2-7, Penn State 3-5, Rutgers 4-5, Wisconsin 2-6. And so we thought that Penn State game was going to be the definer. Even when it happened, we're like, all right, this is it. And it very well could have been. You could absolutely argue that Oregon, is the straw that broke the camel's back. They started that landslide of all the terribleness that's happened there. But regardless, that win does not look good. Does not look as good now as it did then. If Oregon wins out and they beat number 24 Iowa this week, they beat number 20 USC, they beat Washington, they've only got one loss. Yeah, they're absolutely in. They're one of the top 5 teams in the nation. No problem. even if they finish 10-2 and they have wins over maybe a ranked USC, a ranked Washington or a ranked Iowa, you lose one of those games, I think they still might get in, but it's a question. So I'm curious what you think. If they're 10-2, if they lose one more game, how nervous are we?
I mean, the way you just laid it out, you have to have some type of concern, right? Because 10-2
Yeah.
basically gets you into that New Year's Six, or whatever you want to call it. The teams that get to play and make
Yeah,
a
what even
case for
is the New
themselves.
Year's Six in the day and age of the 12-team playoff?
I have no clue. The New Year's 12.
Doesn't matter.
But
It's not where you wanna be.
it's not where you want to be, right? You don't want to be in the holding pattern as far as when do we get a chance to land? Do we even
Yep,
have enough gas to land, right? Um, I think 11-1 gets you in there no matter what the chaos
no
of
question.
any situation. Um, but 10-2 definitely draws some question marks. And it does come down to, the schedule that we
Mhm.
had. It comes down to the Penn State game, right? It comes down to whether or not we are able to beat an Iowa team that is actually, in my mind, a little bit more dangerous than what people think.
They're pretty good.
Um, they're pretty good. Their secondary is pretty solid.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll get to
they,
that.
th- yeah, but uh, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think if you look back in history, what teams struggled to get in at 11-1, just
I mean, at 11 and
historically.
1, like, it's the lower teams, the non-Power 5 teams, and,
Yeah,
it's the non-big brands. I think what gives me the most confidence, like, 11 and 1, like we said, they're in. That's no
yeah,
question. 10-2, what gives me the most confidence that I still think, like, I'd say, like, 65-35, they're in. Because to get to 10-2, you would have to have at least one ranked win going forward. You have to beat a ranked Iowa, a ranked USC, or a ranked Washington, and then I think they're going to beat Minnesota.
because I
But
mean, if
yeah,
Iowa were to beat us this weekend,
uh
it gets real saucy. It gets
yes,
real choppy.
yes,
Because Iowa, you can say, hey, they've lost 2 games, right? But they've lost a weird game early on in
mhm.
the season to Iowa State, right? Um, it was like 16-13 or something like that. But and then they lost to Indiana. But
And
then they
they
beat
they
us.
played Indiana really
They
well.
they played them really
They
well,
gave them
right?
the
And
best
so
game of the year.
so a game like that for them, just in the Big Ten, that jumps them, higher. And then you just look at the Big Ten in general. There's a lot of teams still with, well, you have Ohio State, Indiana, but then Michigan's right there.
Mhm.
They
That
what?
Michigan Ohio State game is going to be fun. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial.
Yeah.
But this is what we live for, right? We live for whether or not there's a backdoor entrance um, possibility, and just talking through the worst case scenarios. But the best case scenario is just handle business,
Yeah.
right? Show up, play ball, uh, trust coaching, trust your players, and call a good game. Don't
Yes.
beat yourself by calling stupid plays.
You hear
That's
that,
what it
Will?
comes down to during this time of the year. You have to be locked in and you have to trust what you've been working on throughout the week and just play your game. So many times you see teams and you're scratching your head like, "Hey, why is it close?" Or "Why this is odd?" And it usually
Mhm.
just comes down to the game plan, right? And
I mean,
what you're doing as far as the play caller.
that happened with Michigan this last week against Purdue. They beat
Yeah,
Purdue 21-16. I saw that. I didn't watch that game at all. I saw that. I was like, "Wait, what? Like, why is
Purdue.
that game so?" And even Minnesota, who is not good, but they're not awful. They're like middle of the Big Ten. They went to overtime against Michigan State. I was like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah,
Like, that's one of exactly what you're
it's
talking
like
about. You
it's
got to
like
play to
coaches
your
are like,
standard.
"Oh, this is a game where we can try some things." No, this is a game that you need to just call and get the game over with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's where we're gonna get to it soon. that's what this game against Iowa is for Oregon. Like
Mm-hmm.
they need to play their game and not worry about Iowa at all. But
Mm-hmm.
back to the playoff conversation. This all in my mind just leads to a week 14 week 15 game at Washington in Seattle. Winner likely gets into the playoff because Washington doesn't really play anyone until that game. They're probably going to be
Mm-hmm.
10-1 going into that game.
Yeah.
And Oregon might be 10-1 going into the game. Like that's going to be one of those rivalry games. That, oh man, just like 2023 up in Seattle with Bo
2023,
Nix.
and
Good Lord.
and then they beat us, right?
Yeah, they beat us. That was so. I'm pre-stressed thinking about that Washington game this year. That's going to be an intense one, and I'm sure it's
How are
going to be
the
loud. It's
Huskies?
going to be cold.
How did they allow for the Huskies or the Fuskies to have the schedule that they have?
I have not even honestly looked at their schedule. So they lost to Ohio State. Let's see their schedule. Washington Huskies. Yeah, I mean, no. Oh, they've got 2 losses. I forgot they
Yeah, they
lost to
got 2
Michigan
losses,
too.
but
But if they
they
beat
played
us,
Illinois, Rutgers,
Illinois, yeah,
Maryland,
that is an easy schedule.
Colorado State, UC
Yeah,
Davis,
but I mean, we're
Washington State. Oh, the Apple Cup.
but Jay Stu, we are in no position to be throwing stones because Oregon's schedule
Hey
is
man, listen,
pretty
we deserve
easy.
we deserve what we deserve a schedule like this based off of that
Montana
playoff
State,
structure last year.
Oklahoma State,
No,
Northwestern,
they
Oregon
threw us a bone
State.
because they knew they was wrong from last year's
That's true. We got
playoff
screwed by
structure.
the seeding. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, we will revisit this conversation in the next couple of weeks. But that 10-2, I think before the season started, we would have felt pretty comfortable with 10-2 getting in, and
Yeah,
now it's like
a little
I
shaky.
don't know. But this next month, I mean, a lot of teams are going to lose. A lot of things are going to be shaken up. So it will be fun to pay attention to. All right, before we go any further, I want to tell you guys about our newest sponsor, Backer. It's an outerwear company founded by an Oregon alum that Jay Stu and I have had the pleasure of working with recently. You can see I'm wearing the hat right now. This is incredible stuff. This is the nice little cool, dry hat, waterproof, good for a rainy day of golf, which we're in that season here in Oregon. If only I could actually get out and golf. That doesn't happen
Now,
anymore.
Zach, listen, we should be able to get a round of golf in the USC weekend.
Oh, are you coming?
I'm coming that week. I
Okay.
get there on Wednesday. There's plenty of days in between for us to get at least
Absolutely.
9. At
We will
least
get
9.
out. I'm
And we'll
using
wear
one
our
of my
Backer backer gear. How about that? Because I'm pretty sure
absolutely.
we'll be playing in the rain.
We'll get some dry backer gear, some insulated stuff. I love it, man. I'm excited. All right, we'll set that up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can get. I bet Kenyon's gonna be here. I bet
Yeah,
Joey's gonna be here.
we'll
We'll
get
get a
some
nice
guys
little
out there.
foursome.
Get a nice little like maybe get 8 guys out there. Play
Yeah,
back to
sure.
back.
Yeah, you got more contacts than I do. Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get a nice. I'm just gonna be that tag along guy. Everyone's like, "What is he doing with all
He's the
of
guy
those
that's gonna hit
Oregon
a hole in
athletes?"
one today.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, me who has not played more than 9 holes in 16 months.
But that's how it goes for you, apparently.
Apparently,
I
yeah.
don't play any golf, and I just go golf, and I hit a hole in one.
That's it. That's it. All right. Well, like you said, Backer, we've got the waterproof stuff. If you need it for a cool day, a rainy day, an insulated day, they've got you covered. Go to backer.com. That's BCKR.com and use a promo code BELIEVE10. That's BLEAV10 at checkout for free expedited shipping and 10% off of your purchase. Again, that's BCKR.com. Promo code BELIEVE10 for free shipping and 10% off of your order. You're not going to want to miss out on this gear. All right, let's talk Iowa. Like we said earlier, I think this game is going to tell us a lot about Oregon and who they are. Are you a good team that can beat up on bad teams? Are you a great team that can contend in the college football playoff and belongs there? Iowa has a bad offense. We can just say that, but they've got a pretty stout defense. I am not concerned at all about Oregon's defense. Like, I think Oregon's offense needs to score 17 points to win this game. I want them to score more. I want them to show that they are one of those teams that can dominate and be among the best in the nation. But it's going to be tough against this defense. I don't know. What do you see from this team?
So Iowa, you talked about the offense. I think their offensive line is their strength, right?
Yeah, they can
I
run the
think
ball.
they can run the ball if they need to. But whenever you have an offensive line, that means you're not necessarily it's not easy to get to the quarterback, right?
Mhm,
So they're capable of, if you let them, they're capable of moving the chains. Their skill positions is what makes them not a great team, right?
mhm.
They're just very average. So if you take this offensive line, in my opinion, and you copy and paste it with a team like Northwestern,
Mhm.
this Northwestern team is absolutely it becomes a really good football team.
Even
And
Rutgers. Rutgers is a perfect
Northwestern is,
example, yeah.
yeah, like they're not a bad team. They just
Mhm.
don't have necessarily consistency that you would need in the trenches.
Yep.
Because I've been ever since played them, I've been watching them. They've been running the ball on a lot of people, and that's the reason why
Mhm.
they're pretty good. But as um, Oregon, at least in my eyes, still has a question mark as far as if they can stop the run, because we played Penn State and we're like, oh, we stopped the run, but then Penn State ended up not being that really not that good, right? So
Mhm.
this is a team that if you allow them, you will end up playing their game. They
Yeah.
want to limit you on offense as much as possible. So if they can get you to have three outings on in the first half, as far as an offense being on the field, that's their game plan,
Mhm.
right? They want to make sure they limit you on the field as much as possible. So we cannot play to that game. We have
Yeah,
to play our game.
agreed. Yeah, it's funny, we're looking at Oregon's defense, like, this defense is so good. They've got the number 4 scoring defense in the nation, the number 2 total defense, the number 1 passing defense, number 32 rushing defense. Like, that's the one thing they can get better at.
Yeah,
This is going to be a classic Big Ten game where, like Dan always says, like you have limited possessions. Like
yeah,
you are going to go in there, they're going to try and slow down the ball. The one thing that does give me a little bit of confidence, though, is that you know I don't think Oregon's going to have trouble stopping like getting Iowa off the field. I don't think they're going to
yeah,
have trouble getting off the field themselves. They're going to force a lot of punts, kind of like that Wisconsin game. It was just punt, 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 like back and forth, flipping the field on each other. Um, I don't know. Iowa's defense, like I just ranked Oregon's. Iowa's defense, they're the 5th in the nation scoring defense, 3rd total defense, 4th passing defense, and then 12th rushing defense. Like this is a really good team. This
yeah,
is gonna test Oregon's offense and make sure that they can get into a rhythm early on, try and get out to a hot start. Because Iowa, the one thing they don't want to do is play from behind. This is not a team that can catch up.
no,
So if
they don't have
Oregon
enough
can go
talent.
out and get up 10-0, 14-3 in the first quarter, it should be smooth sailing. But if this is a 7-7 game at halftime, it's like, okay, I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and I
go
think
ahead.
starting slow cannot happen,
No.
right? Listen, if you start slow, it's going to be a long day.
Mhm,
Right? Oregon's been hitting the snooze button too many times the last couple games, in my opinion. It's time to wake up. Wake up with violence on your mind.
mhm,
On the first drive, drive number one, it needs to be violent. Put violence in your coffee. I don't know what you need to do, but they need to make sure that they create chaos for Iowa. It's an away game. You have to have that type of mentality,
mhm.
and you know I think what's I saw a stat with Dan Lanning on the road. Um,
Like, what's his record on the road?
it's got to be like it was like 16-1 or something like that.
Dan Lanning road record. Let's see. This is always fun podcasting. We're just looking up stats on the that's not gonna show me.
Either way, I feel like his road
Yeah.
dominance has been pretty good, right? So I think he's got a
I mean, his
formula. So
record
just
overall is good. Yeah.
yeah, so just
He
trust
is
your
um I'll edit this out so it's not complete dead air.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not working. He's 42-7 overall. I know that he's undefeated against unranked teams.
Okay.
But Iowa is now a ranked team. They are now number 24 in the coaches poll.
Yeah. Well, basically, all I'm saying is that he has a recipe for away game. So I'm
Mhm.
not all worried about the preparation. I'm just more so worried about whether or not they drink their coffee in the morning and
Agreed.
what's in their coffee. And it needs to be ignited with violence.
Well,
Mm,
fortunately, it got announced Saturday night, that this is like, we were afraid this was going to be a big noon kickoff game, that 9 a.m. Pacific time kickoff, which they had
yeah,
against Northwestern. That's a little tough to deal with. Instead, it's 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern. So
which is
that
a
helps a little
huge
bit.
booster because
That's
now you can
really
like,
helpful.
okay, we get adjusted. I wake up naturally,
They play at
and then
12:30 all the time. That's a normal kick time here in Eugene.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
This feels like a game, like you said, they need to start hot.
yeah,
I This is a game where I would want them to take the ball first and not defer to the second half. Like, get out, get on offense, score some points, set the tone early on. We kind of saw them do that against Utah a couple years ago in Utah, when this game felt a lot like that. It's one of those season defining games. You go into a tough environment against a solid team, a really good defense. They should just to lay it on them. Oregon has I think their offensive numbers look so good, but largely because they kind of stat pad a little bit against the bad teams. They're
yeah.
averaging 51 points per game against the likes of Montana State, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, and Rutgers, and Northwestern in that, and they're averaging 21 points per game offensively in regulation against Penn State, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Like,
Mm,
that just kind of shows you that this is a
yeah.
different team against
Yeah, they
solid
need to get off.
defenses.
They need to get off that Tesla, man. You know that Tesla take about 5 seconds to hit the highway. You gotta hit that turbo. You gotta put some
Yeah,
turbo in that American muscle, whatever you gotta do. Uh, because again, you gotta start fast.
yeah,
I'm tired, and not
yeah,
just start fast, right? We're on for the ride, right?
yeah.
Like we want this thing to continue to go. I don't want any stalls. You're not driving a stick shift. This is an automatic. Okay. You got no clutch to worry about. Just hit the gas and don't let off. Period.
Well, and just prove that you're the team that we thought you were after that
Yeah.
Penn State loss, or after the Penn State win, excuse me. Like,
Yeah.
there are some big games coming up on the schedule, and I think right now a lot of Oregon fans, us included, have some questions about what they're going to look like in those games.
Hmm.
Take away the doubt. Show
Yeah.
us that you can go against a good team on the road and lay it to them, man. Blow them out.
And I would say it's definitely an offensive thing, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
the offense has to figure out how they're gonna click out the gate. I look at, who do you want to be, right? Do you want to be the team that's, gonna, pass the ball around, have 400 yards passing at the end of the game, 4 touchdowns? Are you gonna be a team that's rushing the ball all over the place and got 300 yards rushing at the end of the game? Three touchdowns on the ground, 2 play action passes for touchdowns. Like what type of team are you gonna be, right?
What's your identity?
Because if you know who that is, then just be that out the
Mhm.
gate.
Yeah,
It goes back to my Tesla. You're gonna be a Tesla or a muscle car.
that's true.
Either way,
Yeah,
it's gonna work, right?
that's
Just you
true.
got to figure out who you're gonna be.
Yeah, they've got the talent to make it work.
Mhm.
Let's look at the betting odds, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, our presenting sponsor. The odds are right now Oregon minus, I think, 5.5. When I looked this morning, it was 6.5. So it's been moving between 5 and 6. So that's moving around a little bit. In the over under at 43.5. Who do you have in those? What's your score prediction for this game?
My score prediction is over 6.5,
Okay.
and only because they have to be. If
Yeah.
I'm playing, if I'm an Oregon player, I'm going into this game with a little bit more sense of urgency.
Mhm.
Coming off of this bye week, I've learned from that last bye week. It's an away game, so you have a later start. Everything's working into your favor. So just go in there and play your game and relax.
Yeah. Score prediction?
Score prediction?
Yeah.
This is a game where Dante Moore comes back after getting knocked in the head, and he's just found it.
Okay.
It clicks. He doesn't have the pressure of this whole Heisman talk right now, which is good.
Hmm.
He's going out there to prove, right? and just prove through his play. So I think the offense is going to click, man. I
Okay.
honestly think if Will Stein allows for this team to get out of the screen game earlier, especially if the weather permits, like just let Dante throw that beautiful ball. Let him read the defense. Let him read the secondary, and give him a taste of what it's going to be like playing against, in my opinion, a pro secondary. So
Good team.
like it's a good secondary. So give him just let him just like let the leash go just a little bit, right? And trust your quarterbacking to get the ball out on time. Offensive line's got to be way better than they were the last game. They were the last time they were on the field. Uh, but I think 33-21.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I've got Oregon 28, Iowa 17. I think we're kind of in the same range there.
Yeah.
Um, I just looked at the weather. It looks like it's going to be a high of 53 and slightly rainy on Saturday in Iowa City. So nothing that Oregon has not played in before. I think you're totally fine there.
Yeah.
Again, I just think that Oregon's going to score points. I don't think that's the game where they're going to hang up 40 just because you got to respect Iowa's defense. They're a really
Yeah.
good defensive team. But then again, I don't think Iowa's going to score points either. Like I don't see where
I'm
they're
calling
going to.
I'm calling for a defensive touchdown.
Okay. I like
Hmm.
that. That's
Yeah.
always fun. All right, let's while we're on the topic of FanDuel, let's look at the championship odds as we go forward. Oregon has the fifth best odds in the nation right now to win the championship, plus 1,000. Ohio State leads the way. Indiana follows them, and then Alabama, Texas A&M, Oregon, and then Notre Dame. So they're still, I mean, betters still kind of like Oregon. They were
Yeah.
honestly higher than I thought they'd be. I thought they'd be down closer to seventh or eighth. But we'll see. Again, I will say it again. Like we're gonna
What's
learn
something
so
that you
much
want to
about this team.
who's the player you want to see more from on offense?
Um, like my go-to answer is Kenyon Sadiq. Like I just feel like we haven't seen quite enough of him because we know he's so good.
Hmm.
Um, but I just also know that he's so valuable to this team, staying in and blocking and making things go. That it's like, yeah, we can't always take him out of the garage and play with him
Hmm.
because he's just that
Take
thing
him out
that,
of the
that
garage.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Who about you?
Decorian Moore, and it's
Yeah.
not his fault.
No.
I want Will Stein to treat Decorian Moore like he is the feature at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm saying feature meaning let it, yeah, throw him the ball in all the ways because he can be a guy to receive the ball in all the ways. I want to see him with the ball in his hands in space more. I want to
Mhm.
see him create um just create more, right?
Yeah.
Um we don't give him that many opportunities, I don't feel.
Mhm.
Because I feel like he's a special player. We're seeing him block for guys that have these types of opportunities, right?
Totally. Yeah.
But I want to be able to see what he can do. Maybe that's something that is in the bag for later. But in my opinion, show it now. Show it this weekend.
That's the thing. Like all year, we've kind of been saying, like, all right, let's, and not just us. Like it's just a known thing in college football. Like, all right, you kind of save your best stuff for the end of the
Hmm.
year when you want to start peaking. Now's that time. Like if
Hmm.
Oregon's
Yeah.
going to start peaking, they got to do it starting this week. So that'll be interesting to see.
Hmm.
I kind of want to see more Malik Benson just because I want to see the style of play that he brings. Like he is that over the top breakneck speed style.
Yeah.
I kind of miss that facet of this passing game. We saw it a lot
Yeah.
earlier in the year. We saw it a little bit against Rutgers too, but um, he's just so fun to watch too when he's getting going. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Any other thoughts on either Iowa or championship odds or anything before we get into our trivia and get out of here?
No, I think if we do our style of football, which is hit him in the mouth first, I honestly think run the ball out the gate and just let
Mhm,
them know that we're here to play physical with you.
mhm,
And then what that does, it just opens up everything else that you're able to do. Don't settle for quick passes here, quick passes there. No,
mhm.
like if it's a quick pass, a bubble screen just to pick up 4 yards, how about we just run it for 4 yards? Call the run play
Mhm.
and man to man, you beat your guy across from you and put him in the dirt.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to play that type of game.
Will Stein's name has been out there, rumors for a couple of coaching positions. Go earn one of those jobs. Do it this
Yeah, go
weekend.
earn it, baby.
Go
We
earn it.
get it, baby.
Go
Go
show
get your
why you're there.
money. Go
Go
get your
show why you're in
money.
those conversations.
Don't do anything crazy though, right? We don't
No.
see all these reverse to reverse pass,
Well, if they work,
all
that's
that kind of
fine.
stuff. But I want to see, hey, he dialed up this play because they worked on it this week and this is what he believes in, this package. I want to see that 13 personnel in there sometimes when you're running that ball. Get heavy to the right, left, doesn't matter. Show where you're going to run it and then run it.
Well, and it's like, I don't want him to shy away from some of the extravagant things he does. I go back to the Rutgers game. There was that 3-play sequence where they ran
Yeah.
a jet sweep halfback dive. Then the next play
Hmm.
they ran a jet sweep. Then the play after that they ran a jet sweep reverse like pitch back to Dante Moore, touchdown pass to Sadiq. Like one play set up the next, and it was all very extravagant and detailed. I love that from Will Stein.
Yeah.
That's when he is at his absolute best. So do that, but in
And
a
you're
way
able
that
to do
Iowa doesn't see
and
coming.
you're able to do it once you create the threat, right?
Yes,
You have to
correct.
create the threat. You don't
Open it
just
up
do
with
it.
the run game.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, before we close out the show, we're going to go to our Oregon trivia segment, Quack Facts, where I try and stump Jay Stu. Are you ready for this one?
Hmm.
All right, this is fun. This is one of my favorite general college football trivia questions, but we're going to tie Oregon into it somehow. In honor of the college football playoff rankings being revealed for the first time on Tuesday night. We are going to go all the way back to 2014, November of 2014, to the first ever college football rankings that came out in week 10 of that season. So I ask you, who was the number one ranked team in the nation in the first ever college football playoff rankings? And where did Oregon land in those rankings?
Yeah. 2014.
2014.
Alabama.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
It was not Alabama.
Georgia.
Not Georgia.
TCU.
Oh, no, not TCU. You kind of had the right thought, though. It's not who you would think it is.
Number one.
Uh-huh. I'm going to give you two more guesses because I honestly don't think you're ever going to get it.
2014. Um, Texas A&M.
Oh, you're closer. No. One more guess.
Fudge. LSU.
Nope. It was Mississippi State, led by
Dang.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Man,
It was the
that
first
was
ever college football playoff rankings. They were number one of all teams.
wow.
Do you know where Oregon was in those initial rankings? That's the year that Oregon went
Dak
to the championship game against
Prescott,
Ohio State.
Mississippi State. What was it? What'd you say?
That was the year that Oregon went to the playoff, the national championship game against Ohio State.
They were ranked number 8.
Or 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Where they might be ranked on Tuesday night. They'll probably be 6,
Hmm.
but they might be up there. We'll see.
Yeah, give us that top 5, man. Take it back to the old school.
That'd be nice. All right, let's wrap it up there. We'll
Okay.
be back on this weekend after the Iowa game. Again, kicks at 12:30 Pacific time on CBS. Jay Stu, you got anything else before we get out of here?
I do not, my friend. I'm excited for this weekend because I was bored on Saturday not
Yeah,
watching Oregon, so it's good to have them back and ready to play some ball.
absolutely. I'm now excited for the end of this month. I'm gonna start when you come to
Yeah,
town. I'm
make
gonna
sure you
start
go hit that
looking at
range,
tee
boy.
times. Oh, I'm gonna hit the range. I can't wait to hear how rusty when I finally get to play with you, man.
Yeah, yeah, come out of retirement, man.
I'll have to do that. We're going to look at a daycare here in a couple hours to get one of the kids out of the house. That might free me up a little bit more.
Oh, that'll be helpful for sure.
All right. You can check out more of my work at duckspire.usatoday.com. Follow me at Zachary C. Neel on Twitter if that ever comes back. Also, if you're hearing this and you know how I can get my account back, please, please, please reach out. Follow Jay Stew on Twitter as Jonathan StewR1 and make sure to check out his stuff there. For myself, Zach Neel, for my co host, Jonathan Stewart, we'll talk to you guys next week. Until then, take it easy.